If you look at your
Yes,
little,
yes, yes.
yeah, I see it. It's on.
It's
All right.
recording.
Mine just
Yes,
came on. All right. We're
yes.
good. All right. So what I wanted to start out with today is the intern shell in Blackboard. Um, we just had a question about, will clinical coaches change this summer? No, they won't change this summer. Potentially they could change in the fall. But the good thing is, because of the intern shell, you will have a link to uh, your former one, or to me, or to your new one. You will have all that will be here in this shell. And so as long as you've got the intern shell underneath your My Courses in Blackboard, and it will be this one that says Executive Leadership Internship shell here. If you got that, you're going to be good. You're probably not going to change your clinical coach anyway, but you're still going to have a link to them and to me anyway, no matter who you have. So changing probably won't happen, but if it does, it won't be a problem anyway. So when you go to the Executive Leadership Internship shell, there's a couple of functions here that I want to remind you of. One is, if you want to send work for comments to your clinical coach, you simply come over here to the left menu and figure out which program you're in. If you started in the spring, you're either in the 602 for the 5-semester program, if you're just a regular master's student. Now, if you were an add-on licensure person that started in the spring, you'll be in MELS 603 this semester, according to whether you were in the 3-semester or the 5-semester. If you wanted to go to from the 5-semester add-on to the 3-semester, you're in the dark semester this semester, and you'll be in you'll be in 603 this semester as well. You were in dark semester last spring. So you just simply pick the program that you're in. It's pretty self-explanatory here. And so I'll click on 602 for the 5-semester program. These are people getting their master's degree. And once you click on that, it has what's due for you this semester, and you can just put your task in there, and Dr. Stedman will get back to you in just shortly, or I'll get back to you the next day at the least. Generally what happens is, you put work in here. If your coach doesn't get back to you that day, I get back to you the next day. We want a one-day turnaround on this, and we know that you can't sit and wait forever on comments. And so you just click on these boxes, drop your work in, and we'll get right back to you, no
Dr.
matter which
Lamb,
program you're in.
Dr. Lamb, when they put work in there, am I notified that they've put something in there?
No, yeah, you are in Blackboard. That little, at the top of Blackboard up here, see where it showed that little one? Somebody's put something in for me since in the last 15 minutes. So when I open up Blackboard every day, right up here at the top, I keep this cleaned out, and I know who put something in for me every day. Okay. So if you don't have, if it doesn't show up there, then they didn't put anything in.
Okay.
So you won't get an email notification, but yes, you'll get a Blackboard notification right here that they put something in for you.
Okay.
And then he'll simply go to needs grading down here, and it'll pop right up. Let's see, and see, there's nothing. See, I cleaned it out earlier today. Stuff that came in yesterday that didn't get graded by their coach, I looked at it this morning and gave them comments on it, what needed to be done. I sent, one of my interns, Ron, to put in, and I told her she needed to include some more special populations in the OMA task 2. She only covered EC. She needed to cover EC 504, intervention students, LEP, making sure that she hit all the points she needed to hit.
Okay.
And so that's what that is for. Is so when you come in here and you click on whichever your program it is, you can, now only your clinical coach and me see that, since I supervise all clinical coaches.
Okay.
Now, if you would like to use this for peer review, that's fine too. Just click on discussion board down here at the end, and everything is in here. You just load it up, and anybody in your and tell your peers, and they can go in. You can do peer review through this thing as well. And Dr. Stedman can go in and look at it and comment as well as me. I comment on all of those as well. So we've got it set up to where you can communicate just with your coach, or you can communicate with other students or other folks and get comments back from them as well. It's up to you. Some students do both. But, this is for you to have a place to put your work, get immediate feedback, and that work be saved somewhere just in case we lose it. I never trust email. We're trying to get away from using email because it's so unreliable. But this is a repository. As you can see, from last semester, I had 31 posts under AppSell, the students that started in the spring. 31 of them, I commented on their work. And see, here's the neat thing too. We can kind of look and see as they developed, you can see the numbers dropped each time for each new component. They needed less and less help because we got them help immediately.
Right.
Same thing with the AppTel. You start out with 27 of them needing help on the first task, and then it dropped down much lower than that as we went through it. It also gives us the ability to track and make sure that we are giving students good help, that they're picking up on what to do and don't need us every time. We don't mind, but we're trying to lead students to be independent learners. It gives me a way to track and make sure that I should see those numbers going down from task to task to task. If not, we're not doing a good job helping.
Dr. Lamb.
Me an opportunity to monitor that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Lamb, at a minimum, the students would be at least working on the AppTel, and I think that's what Jessica's working on this semester because she's in the MELS 5-semester program. Can we just briefly go over? I think that's where she said that the ones that are in that particular class said that they're all having a problem knowing what to do with the 4 tasks in the AppTel. Am I right, Jessica?
Yes.
And you just wanted clarification what task 1 needs to look like, what task 2 needs to look like. Is that what you're asking?
Yes. It's and we've got the syllabus, but there's a couple things like in our course calendar and then on the AppTel rubrics that are a little bit different. So just clarity on it, not exactly, but really close to what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay, specifically, have you turned in task 1 yet? Have you done anything with task 1 yet?
I have only done a little bit of my research for task 1, the literary research.
Dr. Lamb, correct me.
I'll tell you what it is.
The AppTel, the task 1, as I look at it, you're doing basically it's like a mini research paper on teacher empowerment and best practices for teacher leadership, and using the most current researchers that you can find. Now, I don't know, Dr. Lamb, if it's in but at one time we were asking that you look at, researchers like Darlingham and Whitaker. Help me out, Dr. Lamb. Marzano's 9. Those kinds of things. Now, Jessica, I don't know if I sent this to you or not, but I know Nadine asked for it and Abby asked for it. I sent them an explanation for task 1, and they said it cleared it up for them.
Yes. So do I need to interview teachers for this?
Not.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here's what one of your classmates, Chris Burrian, is in your class. He's my intern.
Okay.
So Chris sent me his paper, and he did excellent research. He included Marzano's 9 high-yield strategies. That's the way that we measure classroom leadership. See, there's 2 types of empowerment. There's empowerment as a classroom leader and empowerment as a school-wide leader, and you need to measure both. There are some measures out there that attempt to measure both of them. The problem with that is it's hard to survey for best practices, because if you send a teacher a survey and ask them if they use best practices, they'll all tell you that they do. You know,
Right.
in the state of North Carolina, administrators are required to do 15-minute walkthroughs. You know what they're looking for during those 15-minute walkthroughs? Only. They're looking for best practices. That's correct.
Right.
Because a survey for best practices is an IQ test. Who's going to be dumb enough to say I don't use best practices? And the state knows that, so the state is requiring administrators to learn to do 15-minute walkthroughs, and teachers are supposed to get them every day or two. That's what we're trying to teach you to do here, is to understand that you're supposed to, very quickly go in and find out who is and who isn't using best practices, and then who's getting leadership opportunities school-wide. So when Chris turned his paper in, he did a really good job of his research, but he did not. He had his walkthrough checklist, but he didn't have a survey to see if his folks were getting if his folks were getting the opportunity to be leaders in their school. And so this is what I sent him back. Let me see if I can get back to that, and I'll show you the feedback that I gave him, and this will probably help all of you. So let me go back to Full Grade Center and go back to Chris, and I'll show you the feedback that I gave him on APTEL Task 1. And so, okay. All right. From his paper, he used a reference, Katzenmeyer and Moeller. So points 1 through 3 by Katzenmeyer and Moeller are categorized as empowerment as a school leader. A survey should be created to measure to see if your teachers are being given the opportunity to be empowered as school-wide leaders, as well as classroom leaders, which is Marzano, which he did include in his paper. He did have the walkthrough checklist for Marzano. However, he did not have a way to measure to see if these folks were getting the opportunity to be empowered as school-wide leaders. I suggest a survey using Todd Whitaker's 5 areas of school-wide teacher empowerment. Are teachers given the opportunity to be involved in these 5 things? And so the idea here, and that's what I told him here, is what I suspect you'll find that schools that give teachers school-wide empowerment opportunities will have more empowered classroom leaders. It's kind of your reward. If you're a great teacher, if you're empowered in your classroom and you're using high-yield strategies, the administration will recognize that, and they will promote you to do school-wide leadership things, because that's the people they want to be leaders in their building. They don't want the people who roll the ball out in the class, proverbial, figuratively. They don't want those people being leaders in their school. They want people who are exemplars. And what we do is teach kids. And so we need to measure both who's using best practices and who's getting opportunities for school-wide leadership in the building. And the idea is to build a professional development plan through the APTEL Task 4 that at least gets your best teachers teaching other teachers. Now, you can't guarantee that they're going to get to then be involved in the school improvement plan, curriculum, resources, and personnel. But our job is to empower teachers to be leaders in their classroom, use great instructional methodology, great process, and then to reward those by having them teach others. And we get a double benefit as administrators. Those people, spread the good practices throughout our building, and then those people in turn serve as exemplars, and they set a culture in our school where teaching is paramount. But that's what we're about every day. We get a double benefit. And so that's what the APTEL is about, is to get you to understand as students that a culture of teaching and learning doesn't just happen randomly. There are steps that you can take to create that culture of teaching and learning. And the first one is make sure your teachers are using best practices, and the ones that are, make sure they're teaching the other ones to do that. And that's where that culture comes in. It goes back to
that helps a lot.
That's what we're trying to do here. If you remember it in that context, the APTEL is easy. I mean, it's just about creating a professional development plan that utilizes the talent that you have in your building of people who know how to manipulate Marzano's 9 high yield strategies, giving them the opportunity to teach other teachers, which is the first step for them to become empowered as a school-wide leader. And in the end, you have your best teachers being your school leaders. And that is critical to creating a culture of teaching and learning in a building. So that's
yeah,
all.
that helps a lot. I appreciate that.
Yep, that's all. I mean, don't make it any harder than it has to be. So if we go back to semester 2 for the 5-semester program, so we look at the task: conduct research reflecting various teacher empowerment leadership best practices, including a visual checklist of those best practices. Again, the visual checklist for him is for best practices is Marzano, but we also need a checklist that we survey. Conduct an observational analysis of actual practices, which we go out and do the walkthroughs. Lead a team of colleagues, develop a teacher empowerment leadership growth plan. That's what we're talking about. Where we put that plan in place, but the idea of the people who deliver that instruction, that coaching, are the people who are doing it the best, and that and all the leadership and all the empowerment literature tells us that rewarding teachers with leadership positions, like teaching other teachers, is key in empowering and keeping satisfied teachers. You get a double benefit. You get your good quality teachers, your veterans want to stay in your school and continue to working, and the young ones, the new ones, the slow ones, they get help. That's the best of both worlds. That's all we're teaching you to do here, is how to create a staff development, professional development system, not just one-offs. That this is a systemic process that it's ongoing all the time. It's a continuous improvement model. It's pretty good stuff. Over here,
Jessica, have you been allowed to work with your principal with any walkthroughs this year?
No, I didn't, but I sat with her and was talking about we use a Google form for her,
right,
like her actual walkthrough form.
Okay.
And I was able to sit and discuss with her about
okay,
was it useful, because we run into an issue sometimes where we're looking for things that aren't always happening. So then you get a negative review, but so we were working on that together.
Which was
helpful.
Is your school a 12-month program, a year-round program?
No.
Okay,
we got out Friday.
Okay, you're going to have to use for your data. You're going to have to use what your principal's already got, and I'm sure she has a lot of good data that you can pull from.
Yes.
But,
okay.
But I'm going to go by. If you're going to be there Tuesday, I'm going to go by Tuesday. I've got some things that's going to help after Dr. Lamb talks. I've got some things that I'm going to show you Tuesday morning. I'm going to by there about 10:30.
Okay. That'll be good.
Go ahead, Dr. Lamb. I'm sorry.
All right. So what I have here now, I am not telling you that yours has to look like mine, but materials on our internship shell. This is the one that I developed. The professional development plan that I developed out of the APTEL process. It's called MTSS for teachers. You get the link here. MTSS for students, the multi-tier system of support, where you support your EC students, your intervention team students. Well, I call my professional development plan MTSS for teachers, that I developed out of the APTEL. And so basically, we'll go over it real quickly. Now, yours doesn't have to be as involved as mine. It may look a little different. It may look a lot different than mine. But this is kind of my vision of what that action plan or that professional development plan should look like.
Dr. Lamb, for some reason, this is not on it says in 10 minutes it's going to end. I did not realize it was not on the ProQuest.
Okay. Is there a way to extend the time?
Let me see what it's going to let me do. It said stay with free, so I just clicked it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. If we have to, we can switch over to another one. But I can be brief here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go back. Jessica's the only one. I'm going by to see her Tuesday morning anyway.
Okay, so here is an MTSS. Here's a staff development plan that I worked as a basis of a staff development plan where you have your best teachers teach your not best teachers, and this is the plan. I call mine MTSS. You can find that on the intern board. All right, so let me go back to the desktop share screen. Get out of that. All right, so that's the Blackboard shell. Make sure under my courses that you have one that says executive internship. It may have a different name than this, but it's going to be one of these executive intern shells. Make sure you've got one, and that's your link to your coach and to some assistance and some help and some goodies that I have under intern materials there. All right, quickly let me move over. It says we have 741 remaining. All right, so let me move over, new share. Come on now. There we go. Show screen. I'm going to move over to task stream. All right, so task stream, quickly. If you started in the spring of 17 in the regular program, what is due for you this this semester is just the APTEL. That's it. You just got to work on your APTEL. That's the only thing that's due in task stream for you this semester. That's if you started in the spring of 17 in the regular master's program 5 semester. All right. If you started in the spring of 17 in the add-on program, you're in 3 semesters program only. What's due for you this semester? In semester 2, okay, you are in MELS 603. The OMA is due, as well as your School of Education dispositions. That's all. That's what's due in task stream. Now, let me be clear here. There are some additional things due that you need to do that don't actually have to go into task stream yet that you need to do this summer. Let me reiterate. This is for the 3 semester programs that started in the spring. You're now in 603. The only thing you have to turn in this summer in task stream is you have to do your School of Ed disposition and your OMA. However, you are also supposed to complete CAP Task 1 and SKIP Tasks 1 and 2. You need to get both of those done. Let me say that again. If you're in 603 this semester and you're in the add-on 3 semester program, you started in the spring, in addition to the OMA this summer, you need to also do CAP Task 1 and SKIP Task 1 and 2. And if you need help with those, you could again go back to your internship shell and click on your program, and it will give you a Dropbox where you can put those in for Dr. Stedman to help you with them, or I will help you with them. Because you know your instructor's not going to, because the instructor doesn't cover those this summer. But we will help you with those. So make sure you understand that. Now, if you started, back again, if you started in the fall of 16, you start in the fall of 16. You're now in MELS 603. Again, the OMA is due and the School of Ed dispositions. If you want to accelerate and take 605 in the fall, if you're add-on, you also need to do CAP 1 and SKIP 1 and 2 this summer. Okay? Everybody gets that. If you started in the fall in the 5-semester add-on and you want to accelerate to the 4th semester where you don't have a dark semester this fall, you go ahead and take 605 straight after 603 this summer. You've got to also do the OMA this summer, and you've got to do skip 1 and 2 and cap 1, task 1.
Okay, and I have one student that is doing that, Christine.
Yeah, so she's going to need to get those other 3 tasks done this summer along with her OMA.
And we've already met, so she knows about this already.
Good. Now, if you want to stay in the 5-semester program, that's fine. And the only thing to do for you this summer is the OMA. That's the difference. Okay. All right. So that's for the fall of 16 people. That's what to do for them. Now, go back to search results. So that's fall of 16 people. And then the last people that we'll talk about are the spring 16 people. The spring 16 people are the last people who are in the legacy program. They should be in 605 this summer. And so everything is due by July 3rd. All your components, all your final evidence narratives. Please remember that you've got to upload an internship log with at least 80 hours. You've got to upload your competency folio that has at least 21 competencies, communication down through visionary, 1 example of 21. But you only have to do 1 example. Look at the screen. I'm holding up a finger. One example of each of the 21 competencies, and then you've got to upload it. Once you get them all in there in your competency folio, and I'm going to cover that in just a minute, you come over here and click on Final Competency Folio, follow the directions, and upload it. If you have problems with that, I can help you. But if you can follow directions, once you click on Competency Final Folio, all you have to do from that part is they'll give you an attachment button. Just use attachment and find your folio there, and you can put it right in there.
Okay, got 2 minutes, Dr. Lamb.
Yeah, I'm watching that time.
Okay, right. and those students that have to have everything this time, I've already met with all of them, so they know what they've got to do.
All right, last thing, and I've got 2 minutes. I'm right on time. Is your competency folio. You should have already uploaded your competency folio. If you hadn't, email me or Dr. Stedman. We'll send you the link on how to upload your competency folio. Once you've got your competency folio, if you're getting through and the legacy students who are in 605 this summer right now, you only had to do 1 round. Everybody else has to do 3 rounds. So if you're in a 5-semester program, you basically go 12 the first semester, 9, 12, 9, and then 21. If you're in a 3-semester or you want to move to the 4-semester program, every round's got to be all 21. When I talk about all 21, we're talking about communication down through visionary. Nobody has to do professional dispositions, digital learning competencies, or a narrative. You don't have to do those. And so if you don't know where to find them, email Dr. Stedman. I've got a place under intern materials in the Blackboard shell that tells you specifically where you can find these proof of competencies, either open-ended or from your evidence artifact work. So Dr. Stedman's available. I'm available. The materials are here. You should know where you are. If you have any questions, you let us know. We will get you we'll be responsive. We'll get back to you. So that should cover everything. That should cover everybody that you've got. If you have any questions,
right?
If you need me to help you with any of your evidence artifacts, like the AppTel, like I did today, if you need me to help you with OMA, just email me, and we can Zoom or I can send you an email.
And Jessica, I'm going to see you on Tuesday morning about 10:30, if that's okay, and that should clear.
Yep.